Seneca Lake, not too far from the Watkins Glen road course, the largest and deepest of the New York Finger Lakes, and you can enjoy a beautiful day of fishing from a pier. This thing is 600 feet deep, Lake Seneca, and is one of the many beautiful areas that you can visit when you come to this area of the country and enjoy a race at Watkins Glen. It is still Mark Martin, but in second place now is Rusty Wallace, and then Jeff Gordon and the 5-car of Terry Labonte. And looks like Jimmy Spencer got off course.
Yeah, taking a little ride over there in turn 10, but he keeps it down on the grass and didn't hit anything, Bob, so it shouldn't hurt anything. Hut Strickland, he's been in the pits for a lap, and they're pushing his car to the garage area, and another driver that's already in the garage area is with John Kerner.
Well, Ed, you can see the STP crew working furiously underneath their Pontiac. They're trying to get Bobby Hamilton back out there. Now, Bobby, you guys had to use a provisional to start this race on the outside pole last week at the Brickyard for a provisional this week, but you were making some moves until what? The transmission broke?
Yeah, we got into third gear. Schrader and I was really running good together, you know. I was letting him open the holes up, taking advantage of them. But both cars, the 25 car and the 43 car, they were passing on the outside, the inside. The car was flawless. I mean, it was driving very good. And I'm not a road course person, but if I got something to judge off of, I usually run good. But we felt real good about the progress we was making. Now we got to see what we can salvage out of it.
Well, they will try and get this car fixed, get it back out on the racetrack. And, well, speaking of the Petty family, Kyle Petty, Richard's son, is slowing down out there on the track. Remember, we had told you earlier, potentially no brakes for him.
Well, he's very slow on the racetrack. He was running in 11th position, but has encountered some kind of a problem. He's trying to get to the inside so that he can enter pit road. Kyle Petty is not looking very promising here after 22 laps.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has power. Now, whether the engine's running or whether the gearing came out or something, Bob, but he's just coasting around. I think he is going to be able to get back to the pits before the thing finally quits rolling on him.
Yeah, he was right at the entrance. In fact, yes, he has made pit road. And Dale Earnhardt now taking a look on Bill Elliott once again. These two have been battling for several positions. Dale had the position for just an instant, but then lost it as he came out of turn 1, and Bill got it right back again. So it's still Elliott running in 7th and Dale Earnhardt in 8th position.
Guys, the car 1 has been smoking really heavily as it comes around the outer loop here. It still is smoking heavily right now as Earnhardt makes a move on Bill. And
there's contact. Bill spins around into the grass. Earnhardt gets by. Bill makes the save, loses 1, 2, 3 positions, then climbs back on the track in front of Dale Jarrett. So Earnhardt and Elliott. Dale was trying that move for several laps. Finally dove it in deep. Bill didn't want to relinquish his hold on that spot. There was contact, and the McDonald's Ford goes around here in turn 1.
It's incredible that he didn't lose any more positions than he did.
Yeah, really. He did a good job of getting it back out on the track. He lost, what did you say, 3 positions there, so that's not bad to make a complete 360.
So he falls now to 10th position and will be right ahead of Dale Jarrett and John Andretti. Here it is again in 1.
Well, there again, it's 2 drivers going for the same piece of real estate. Earnhardt down on the inside, thought he had it there. Elliott came down going into the turn as he normally would. We'll watch it from the high camera coming in here. There's Earnhardt driving down on the inside. You see Elliott coming right down like he normally would going into that turn. Apparently didn't realize that Earnhardt was that far along up beside him and shoots him right out into the grass.
And real time now from Dale's booth cam.
It's very fortunate when he stood on the gas to try to spin the car around and make it do the 360 that the car was still on the asphalt, because if he had tried that had he been on the grass, he might have made it to the retaining wall.
You can see in the middle of this pack, Wally Dallenbach just coming through turn 1 a moment ago. He got around Ricky Rudd, and Dallenbach in the MBNA Pontiac has climbed into 5th position after starting 12th. Dorsey, there he goes.
Yeah, he's been working real hard through the inner loop here under braking, trying to get that move done, but gets it done in turn 1, and he is on the move. Remember, Wally's best finish in NASCAR was here. Number 1 car pitting for that smoke now.
Yeah, Rick Mast has brought the Skoll Ford in for a stop. Going to go to work on the left side of the car, and Ted Musgrave is just coming out.
Yeah, he was just in for a 4-tire change and a fill-up of Unical gasoline, and they're doing the same thing to Rick Mast, and I guess they'll check out that smoke. Yeah, there's somebody looking underneath there to see where that smoke's coming from while they change the tires on the other side. They're going under the hood, see if they can see where the smoke's coming from.
Had a great run at Indianapolis last week in the Brickyard 400, Rick Mass did.
Finished in 8th place.
And John Kernan has caught up with Kyle Petty.
Well, he lost the brakes early, and then, Kyle, what put you back here in the garage area?
Yeah, it just slowed down going up through the S's. I don't know if it was the motor coming out of it, or maybe the transmission coming out, or rear end. I don't know what the problem is. And so I hate to say one way or the other, but, something in the drivetrain broke somewhere. And I mean, when you don't have much brakes, it ain't much fun out there. And it's not that you don't have brakes. I got plenty of pedal. It's just like they're glazed over or something's wrong with them. You mash the pedal as hard as you want to mash it, and it just keeps going.
It's got to be a very scary feeling out there, huh?
It's okay, except when people are in front of you. I like to wipe Michael out on the second or third lap of the race, and because I didn't realize I had a problem, and I dove down under him, going in the corner real hard, and it just drove down into him, and I almost got into him. I got it sideways and backed into him almost before I hit him, but then saved him, so hopefully he'll have a good run.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Bob?
Kyle Petty, the only car officially out of the race right now, although they continue to work on the Bobby Hamilton machine. Pit stops are coming up. We'll be back for them in a moment. Rejoin us. Mark Martin comes in for a pit stop and relinquishes the lead. Jerry Punch.
35 miles, 4,200 RPM in first gear, and you will notice they will change the right side tires first. Something new this year. They've been practicing back in the shop for about 2 weeks. They realized if they change the right side tires and the Jackman runs the same way he normally runs, which is counterclockwise, he will go to the left side of the car, which keeps the normal routine for the crew. Now, when they drop the jack, the crew will still be on pit road, and the car stalls. Now it refires as he leads, and Bill Elliott is in right behind him. Now, the Elliott crew taking the opposite approach. They will change the outside tires. They will change the outside tires first, and then come around and change as Elliott's crew now changing the right side tires. Still looking up for fuel. Bill had complained that the car was very, very tight. He said nothing, though, after the spin incident with Dale Earnhardt. He is down and away and headed back to turn 1.
Other cars made pit stops while we were away, including Jeff Bodine and Jeremy Mayfield.
Ricky Craven is in now, so is Joe Nemechek.
And Rusty Wallace comes down pit road for his pit stop, so he gives up the lead, and that gives it to Jeff Gordon. Jerry Punch, he's headed toward you once again at a very slow speed.
And that's 35 miles an hour if you didn't hear me. That was 4,200 RPMs in first gear. Okay, Dale Jarrett's coming on here. Going to work on the outside of the Miller Genuine Draft Ford Thunderbird. They will change outside tires. And right in front of him is Terry Labonte getting a tire change as well. So routine pit stop, even though they're under green here at the far end of pit road.
Finishing up the work on Rusty Wallace. There it is with a 19.3 second pit stop. And Rusty rolls again. Labonte is still on pit road in the Kellogg's Monte Carlo. Now he gets rolling again.
And Rusty's going to emerge from pit road door-to-door with Mark Martin. And then he falls in line as they go into 2. And Terry Labonte comes off pit road. And there's Dale Jarrett.
John Kernan has another pit stop.
Leitzinger is leaving pit road after a 4-tire change by his crew. Dale Jarrett was also in for 4 tires and fuel. There was some damage on the left front fender of Dale Jarrett's car, but it didn't look like it was causing any problems. They pulled it away to keep it away from the rubbing on the fender and the tire.
We assume that's when he and Morgan Shepherd had contact, right, Ned?
Yeah, I think that's when it happened. There we see Sterling Marlin in, as we see Brett Bodine coming out in the Lowe's Ford, and here's Jeff Gordon coming down pit road along with Ricky Rudd right behind him as they use that 35 mile an hour. Dale Earnhardt is coming in.
Now the Rainbow Warriors go to work. They pounce on the DuPont Chevrolet. There's Earnhardt going to a stop just ahead of Jeff Gordon. John Andretti is also in. That's, of course, Ricky Rudd behind Jeff Gordon. A lot of work on pit road here. Sterling Marlin comes out after work done on the 3 car. Looks like Rudd will be rolling first, but right behind him now, right in front of him, is Jeff Gordon.
And then Earnhardt rolls out too, so they go out the way they came in.
Michael Waltrip picks up the lead momentarily. He has not pitted for his first scheduled stop, however. And Dick Trickle has spun in the inner loop.
Yep, he sure did. Dick had just gone a lap down from the leaders just before they started this round of pit stops. That should have put him back on the lap, that he'll have a pit stop coming up himself. No, he's being shown a lap down now. Kenny Schrader in the Budweiser Chevrolet coming out, along with Derek Cook.
Schrader had moved up to 13th position after starting the race from the rear because of a crash yesterday in the final practice period.
Well, when Dick Trickle spun up here in the inner loop, Steve Grissom had to go straight, completely straight through that area, and be interested to see what they did there.
Michael Waltrip gives up the lead to come in. That's his first pit stop. John Kernan, can you see this?
Yes, I can, Bob. It'll be a 4-tire change for Michael Waltrip. They will do the work on the left side first and come around to the right side. Second can of gasoline going in. Waltrip, a little bit of damage on the right side of the car where he'd gotten into someone out there on the racetrack. They finally get the lug nuts tightened, and Michael Waltrip, he stalls the car. They're having to push him to restart the car. Waltrip losing some valuable time here on pit road, but finally he is down and away.
John, that damage came when he and Dale Earnhardt got together down in turn 1 when Earnhardt was passing him.
So Michael Waltrip now rolling once again, headed up toward the S's.
It doesn't take long on a road course to get your speed back up, unlike a Daytona or a Talladega. And look, Mark Martin finds some company on his back bumper there now in the way of Rusty Wallace.
And those guys are about 7 seconds ahead of Gordon and Labonte and Ricky Rudd. They went by about 7 seconds before that trio emerged from pit road, and Rusty trying to chase down Mark.
Now that's Rick Mast that is still smoking back there. We heard that he had dropped a cylinder and the thing continues to smoke. So Rick Mast having his problems. Rusty Wallace all over Mark Martin now.
Looks like Rusty Wallace read about not having won a road race since 1990. He's trying to make up for that today in 1995.
BP came in here with a lot of confidence. They have a new car, and here's Jeremy Mayfield and the RCA Ford in for a second pit stop. He had been in a little bit earlier for a pit stop. Let's go back to the pits and John Kernan.
Well, they had a bad break for Jeremy Mayfield as the hood goes up, and they pull that right rear tire off. Apparently, the battery is gone dead or going dead, and it looks like they will probably have to change the battery. So this is going to take a long time here on pit road, and Jeff Burton is now pulled off the course up around the inner loop.
Dorsey, what's the deal there?
Yeah, I saw that as he came up out of the S's, it looked like a big puff of smoke for Jeff Burton. He coasted to a stop, pulled off the racetrack. I'm afraid they might be done.
Yep.
It looks like the fans are just trying to get in the car there with him, help him out a little bit. They're not quite as close as it looks there, I don't think. But Rusty Wallace is close to Mark Martin. He's as close as it looks right there.
You better believe it. He is really battling Rusty and Mark right now. Rusty, of course, with a great run at Indianapolis last week. John, what's the deal on the 98?
Bob, what has happened, apparently a wire from the alternator has broken. What that means is that the alternator cannot charge the battery, so they have zapped the battery strength. They're just in a crewman scurrying back to the garage to get some parts to hopefully get this car fixed and get the RCA Ford Thunderbird back out on the racetrack. But right now, Jeremy Mayfield is sitting in the car still here on pit road.
And up through the S's come Martin and Rusty Wallace once again. And Wallace just looking for any opportunity at all to pass him. Let's see if it might happen as they go to the inner loop.
He's been trying it here every lap. He's really been hard on the brakes getting in the inner loop. Right now, he's on the outer line. He's not going to make the move this time.
So Mark Martin holds off Rusty Wallace's challenge for the moment. And we'll have more of our live coverage at the butt of the Glen from Watkins Glen International in a moment.